The first command we will consider on the data tools group of the data tab is the text to columns command. The text to columns command allows you to split the data in a cell into a number of columns. For instance, obviously we don't want data like this in Excel. You can see the weekdays and probably the number of customers or clients attended to for each day, and instead of organizing them in a column, that's a column for Monday and a number, a column for Tuesday and that number there, but it's all just comma separated like that. Sometimes when you import data into Excel and you did not specify correctly whether it's a fixed width or delimited, you may end up with data like this. So to clean this data, to transform it to a form that is more appropriate in Excel, you will use the text to column command. I'll just make this selection here, okay, then click on the text to columns command. It's a delimited, so you can see that then I'll say next. Okay, so this time it's not tab delimited, it's comma delimited. Okay, so and you can see the preview there, and I just click next. Then I can set the data type for each field and click finish. Okay, so Excel has been able to transform this data for us. Okay, the next one here is not comma separated. Okay, so it's not comma delimited. Instead, it has a space character. But the text to columns command works the same way for in this case too. So I'll just make this selection here, then click on the text to columns command. I'll select delimited here because it's delimited, and click next here. But so it's not comma delimited, it's space delimited, so that's you get the same transformation here. When preparing your worksheet for a data entry task, especially when you will enter lots of data, it is very important for you to set data validation for each field immediately after you have defined the header row. To define a validation for a particular field, select the field, then click on the data validation command on the data tools group. Then select data validation. On the data validation dialog box, you are provided with three tabs: the settings tab, the input message tab, and the error tab. On the settings tab, you will be able to set the validation for that field. For this case, I'll click here on this allow and I'll select date. So only dates can be allowed there, and I can set there are a number of rules here. So you have between, not between, equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. So if I select between, then I can impute a date here. So let's just say 12 1 2016, and okay, So this is the validation rule here. So any date that is not within this range will not be accepted. We can set an input message here. So the title is enter or date. So you can create a title. I'll just say date, and the input message is enter a date. Okay, and the error message is so you have a number of styles here. So you have the stop, the warning, and information. For stop, if you enter the wrong date, it will not be allowed. For warning, a wrong input will be allowed, but you will get a warning message. Then information only just provides you with information. So this is checked, show error alert after invalid input is entered. So that is also error. So the title is error there, and the error message is invalid date. Try again, and okay, I just click OK there. Okay, so the validation for this field has been set. If in the course of data entry you enter a date, say 12/01/2015, this will not be allowed. So you see that invalid entry, try again, error. Okay, so you can retry again. Okay, it won't be allowed. Okay, so let's just cancel that. Okay, except you enter a valid date, let's say 01/01/2017. okay, this will be allowed. It's a valid date. So you can set data validation for each field to ensure that the wrong data is not entered into a cell within the field. If you have used the warning or information style for data validation, then let's just change this to warning. Then invalid data will be accepted. Okay, so clearly this is not a valid data. 12/1/2015. okay, but even though it's not a valid data, it is still accepted. Okay, because the style we chose is the warning style. But the data validation command provides the option to circle invalid data. Okay, so you can see that circled. Okay, the header row is inclusive because this is also not a date, but this is clearly invalid data here. You can also clear circles. Okay, so those are all the commands that has to do with data validation. The next command you will learn is the flash fill command. The flash fill command allows you to populate a column with data from a segment of the column to the left of that column. I'll demonstrate how it works. I'll select this column and I change the data type to long date. Okay, so this each cell in this column has a segment of data. So you have the name of the day, the month of the day, and the number, then the year. So you can say it has at least 3 segments here. So the flash fill command allows you to populate this the column to the right of this with only a segment of the data in this column. Okay, so let's demonstrate that. I'll go back to the data tab, and here I'll just enter. Okay, so let's delete 2 rows here. Okay, just to show you how smart the flash fill command is. Then here I'll enter Thursday. So I just want the day, the name of the day here. So I want Thursday there. Then okay, so that's the flash fill there. So I'll just click on the flash fill, and you can see it automatically fills this other the other records from the same segment of the data on to the left of this cell of this column, sorry. So you can see that Friday there, Saturday there, Sunday there, and it skips Monday and Tuesday because those data are not available. And so this is how flash fill works. Next, you will learn about the remove duplicate command on the data tools group of the data tab. I have created a duplicate record here. I've duplicated row 5. Okay, I've created a duplicate here, and with the with a cell within this data range selected, I'll click on the remove duplicates command. Okay, and on the remove duplicates dialog box, I can select a combination of all the columns where duplicates will be checked. Okay, so I want the date field or column and the day column to be checked for duplicates. So I'll click OK, and the duplicate has been removed. The next command you will learn about is the consolidate command. Imagine that your office has 2 branches, and in both branches they collect similar data, like the number of clients attended to in the branch. So this is the data for branch A, and this is the data for branch B. At the end of the day or the week or the month, you want the summary of the total number of clients attended to per day in a consolidated worksheet. So like this worksheet now, you just want total number of clients per day. Okay, so the consolidate command helps you to easily do that. That's provide the sum of all the clients attended to in both branches. I'll just click on this, select this cell, then click on the consolidate command to launch the consolidate dialog box. There are the function here is set to sum, but there are a number of functions provided here that you can carry out consolidation with. Then you also have to provide the references for the data you want to consolidate. Okay, if the data are in different files, then you will have to click on browse to add them to this to locate and add those files to this references area. But in this case, both data are on separate worksheets in the same workbook. So I'll just click here, then select branch A. So this is the first data from branch A. Then I'll add it to the all references area. Then I'll click here again, then select branch B now, and select the data from branch B, and add that also to the all references area. You can toggle this create links to source data. If this checkbox is checked, then when if any of the data on these if any of the data for this branch A or branch B gets edited, then the summary, the consolidated data will get updated. So I just click OK here, so you can see the summary there, and it's been grouped by default, so you can expand or collapse this. So you can see the data from both branches here, that is 1 and 3. So I'll just go and make changes to branch A. So on row 8, that's Wednesday, December 7th, 2016, I'll change that to 7. Okay, and enter. Okay, I'll come back to the summary here, so you can see that Wednesday, December, and it's been changed to 10. If you expand this view here, you'll see that 7 and 3. So this is how to consolidate data using the consolidate command. Finally, you will learn about the relationships command. The relationships command is not active. To activate this command, you must have at least 2 tables in your workbook. The relationships command helps you create and manage relationships between tables. There are some kinds of analysis you will not be able to carry out except you create relationships between multiple tables. For instance, before I tell you about the analysis, let's get tables from an Access database. I'll get 2 tables from the marketing 1 database. These are the tables in the database. So I'll click on select multiple items, and I want both the products and suppliers table, and I'll load that to Excel, into Excel. Okay, so it's not just a connection, so I want the tables to be displayed in Excel, and I want these tables to be added to the data model because I want to carry out an analysis that requires both tables, and both tables are related. I'll show you what I mean by related tables. Okay, so this is the supplier table, and you can see the supplier ID there. Okay, if you look at this table, there is no field that tells us about the products that a supplier supplies. Okay, all the details here relates to the supplier, and we can't tell the products that a supplier supplies. So the kind of analysis we want to carry out is, what are the products related or associated with um, individual suppliers. Okay, so if you also look at the products table here, you will see the supplier ID. So this supplier ID is common to both the product table and the supplier table. Okay, so you see the supplier ID there. Okay, so in the products table, the supplier ID is a foreign key or foreign column. In the supplier table, the supplier ID is a primary key. Okay, what it means, what this primary key means is that there is no repetition of these numbers. So these are unique identifiers. Okay, so these IDs uniquely identifies each supplier. Okay, so now I will create a relationship between both tables. Okay, so I'll go back to the data tab and click. You see the relationships command now is active. So if I click on that, that will launch the manage relationships dialog box. There are no relationships here, so I have to create a new one. Okay, so I have to select the related tables. The first table is the products table, and the foreign key there is the supplier ID. Okay, the second or the related table is the suppliers table, and the supplier ID is the primary key there, or primary column. Then I'll click OK here. Okay, and so this relationship has been created and it is active, so the relationship can be deactivated. I'll close this manage relationships dialog box. To be able to carry out the analysis, since the relationship has been created, the analysis is we want to find out which products are associated with individual suppliers. So to do that, I'll go to the insert tab and click on the pivot table command on the tables group. Okay, I will use this workbook's data model. Okay, and the data has already been added to the data model, and I want the pivot report in a new worksheet. Then I'll click OK. So this is the reason why you add data to the data model, so that you can analyze multiple tables. Okay, so I'll click OK, and this is the um, pivot report, pivot table report, and you have the two tables here, and there is no line between the tables because there is a relationship between them. If there were no relationship, you will see a horizontal line drawn between these two relationships. This is not necessary, so I'll just close that. And now to answer a question, I'll drag some fields from both tables into some areas here. So I'll just do that. I want, let's say, the company name. For the supplier, along with the associated product. Okay, so I'll take the product name here and drag it here. Okay, and you can also have the sum of the products. So I'll just drag this field again, okay, into this box, the values area, and you can immediately see this. So count of product name. So this is a supplier that supplies these two products. This is another supplier that supplies these products, and you can see all of that. So just scroll down. It wouldn't have been very easy to carry out this kind of analysis without the help of relationships and pivot tables. Otherwise, you'll have to create a lot of VLOOKUP formulas, and this just makes it very easy.